Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Boo Review.
I wasn't even in camera.
You're in camera now. It's fine. They know you're here. Hello, everybody. We saw Halloween, not together. We're actually separate. And we saw it separately. That might have actually influenced our opinion a little bit because I wasn't there. You didn't see the enjoyment on my face as we watched it. That might have influenced you.
So you enjoyed it?
I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the new Halloween 2018. Was this first part? I think we should just give off our just general opinions about it without getting into spoilers, and then halfway through the video we'll get into spoilers. So, what do you think?
First thing, I feel like I should just let you guys know I didn't come into the movie with 40 years of baggage.
Right.
I watched Halloween 1978 on Sunday.
He's in a
and then went and watched Halloween 2018 on freaking Thursday night.
So he's in a very, very unique situation where he doesn't know anything about the other movies. He's literally he's seen this movie as it's intended as the direct sequel to the first movie.
And
the
soundtrack's real good.
Okay, the soundtrack's good. Let's do the positives first, and then we'll do some negatives.
All right, well, for one thing, I feel like it's weird to leave with the soundtrack, but the soundtrack kicks super ass.
Yeah, and it's John Carpenter. On this one, it was like him, and I think maybe it was his daughter or something. Somebody's working with him on this to expand the soundtrack, which I didn't really pick up on when I was watching it. I wasn't paying attention to that, but the soundtrack.
The soundtrack was so good.
Yeah.
So I keep wanting to talk about Halloween 1978.
Okay.
All right.
Because this is the first Halloween's very fresh in his mind. So he's just like, why the hell are we reviewing the sequel when the original is so much
I thought
better?
the first one was really, really good. This one's pretty good.
Okay.
This one's pretty good.
Pretty good? Okay.
Man, I just want to jump into a concern that I have with the first one and this one.
The first one and this one as far
I guess
as
we'll
negative.
get into that
We'll do that into the you could probably spoil the first one.
It's ultimately...
But will it spoil this
good.
One? Probably.
No,
okay.
probably not.
Let's do positives.
We'll still do it. All right, it's...
Positives. I'm going to go ahead because I
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis
almost forgot. She's good.
She's
everybody really always wants to talk about Michael. Jamie Lee did well.
People love Jamie Lee too in these movies, yeah. But anyway,
Laurie Strode.
The positives. I thought that the movie was if you are a fan of this series. And you've seen all these movies, there's a lot to get out of this because there's a lot of it's actually a lot of, I guess you could criticize it for being too much of a nostalgia bait, because there's a lot of references to all of the other movies in this one film. Yeah, so I'm a fan. I'm more of a Friday 13th kind of guy, but I do enjoy Halloween a lot. And there was things in there that was making me go, "Ooh, that's something." Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
I got several references
positive.
to the first movie. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty cool. Just there's a really, I guess I shouldn't. I don't know. For the people that care a whole lot that haven't seen it yet, I guess they probably won't go in completely fresh. So I won't say that. Okay. There's a couple of cool ones that are just scenes shot just like they were in the original. Pretty cool. A lot of little emojis.
Yeah, there's a lot of throwbacks to the original in a unique way. It's kind of a.
And the only reference that I really know to Halloween's other than the original one is the little reference to Michael being Laurie's brother, and they're like, "No, that's just a rumor somebody started."
Right, exactly.
I knew that
cool.
I knew that in future movies it was established.
That's a spoiler.
But it doesn't matter anymore. It's not canon.
It's not canon anymore. You're right. Okay. Spoilers for those movies. This movie that whole universe just got erased in this one movie. Another positive. I really like the family drama element of this. I was actually, it's funny. I went into this movie expecting exactly what I got, but I enjoyed it more than I thought that I would. I don't know how to describe that feeling, but I went in and it was just. I really, really enjoyed this movie. It was great. It's like I keep wanting to say spoilers, and it's hard not to. But the family drama was good. It really examines the victim and victimizer dynamic a lot in this. That the other movies have done to degrees, but not to the degree that this one I feel does.
Of kind of showing how a traumatic event, how it can affect your family and everything.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 did. as well. And I am like one of the very few people who actually enjoy the Rob Zombie movies. They're not there. I see why people don't like them, but I do enjoy them. And one of the reasons why I liked Halloween 2 was for that reason. This one does the same thing, but you got Jamie Lee Curtis back. So to me, it just feels like it coalesces the whole series into
Sushi,
one.
no.
Sushi's gonna knock down the camera. But yeah, like I feel like it coalesces everything that about Halloween that's great and puts it into one. And one thing that I really enjoyed was its focus on Michael in the way that a lot of people, one of the reasons people like Michael so much is because there's like a certain mysterious element to him. Why does he do what he does? What is his motivation? Is there a motivation? Is he pure evil like the series says? And that and it's kind of funny. I've seen most of the Halloween movies, but I think with this movie, it finally clicked with me. Like, oh, that's why Michael Myers is so cool, because we don't know. We want to know more about him. Like, why is he this evil? You know, with Jason, you know why. You've never seen Friday 13, maybe you don't know why. Okay.
No.
Well,
I just agree with what you said.
Agree, yeah.
But
with Michael Myers, there is no, as far as you know, there's no motivations. There's certain key scenes in this movie that really hit, like, you know, touch on that, and I really enjoyed that element of it. That they're like, it's almost meta in a way, but yeah, it's those three elements. Oh, as far as whether it's scary or not, because that's probably why people watch these movies. I think it had a couple really good tense moments in it. I just don't get real scared with these type of movies anyway, so I don't watch for that reason. But there's some things in here that I think that if you're easily scared would make you jump. I thought the third act was awesome. It had some really good tense scenes in it. If you watch these movies for like the kills, I will say that it is good in that aspect. Really good, actually.
See, I don't watch these. I've not seen that many horror movies. I don't necessarily watch them for the kills.
Right,
and that's why I think the first one is superior.
Okay.
Absolutely superior.
So if you're not into that, is one thing. This movie is I will say is gorier than the first one. And if you're not into the gore, then yeah, he makes a good point that you probably enjoy the first one more.
Like, think of it like this. Just know this going into it. The first one, Michael feels very, very focused and methodical, and he's just stalking down Laurie and her friends because he kind of sees them together, you know, and he just kind of stalks them. It's a much slower paced movie until like way deep into it, you know.
Gotcha.
This one, he's just he's just a machine.
Yeah, it feels like, I will say that it's kind of, it's really strange for you going
the first one, he feels very targeted towards, like he has a target. Yeah. And he takes out these other people.
Well, I think people have argued that Laurie is not. But you're making a good point, because he is like, it looks like he's stalking her the whole movie. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
But in this one, there is no target.
There is no target. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I mean, without giving away any spoilers, obviously no spoiler here. Of course, Laurie and Michael are going to see each other again. But generally speaking, it's like Michael doesn't have any focal point.
And actually, you could say it's a benefit of the original canon that they were brother and sister, and that's the reason why he's so focused on her in the original. That makes a lot of sense, and it could be a negative for this one. I've never thought about that. That's actually
in the first one, like,
see, it's fresh in your brain, so you're seeing the stark differences in the two. Yeah.
Well, in the first one, I think it's kind of like Michael is just. He's been in prison, 15 or 16? Not prison, but hospital 15 or 16 years. He escapes and everything. No contact. He goes back to his house, his original house, which is abandoned. And it all starts out with Laurie drops off the key because her family are realtors for someone to come and see the house. But Michael sees her. So Michael sees her and he kind of fixates on her. And the rest of the movie, like, he's just kind of like keeping an eye on her.
That is a really good point.
And by proxy, like her friends, because she's hanging out with her friends. So Michael sees her friends too, which kind of like would segue into, if you've seen the original, you know, like they're kind of not quite across the street from each other, but.
That's really good. That makes me think about these series a little bit deeper now that I'm thinking about that. That's a great point.
It might be too much depth in review for it, but it's kind of a boon and a negative
because in the original series they're brother and sister, and that's why he's so, you know.
But that wasn't established until after that.
That wasn't established until later. I will say that this film actually feels, as far as like filmmaking style, like this versus like this, the Halloween. It's very different. This actually feels like it's shot more like a Rob Zombie movie if Rob Zombie was more restrained in some of the like thematic material. So I'm also saying it must be very jarring to go from the 70s style Halloween or like this 1979, 78. Okay, the 70s style filmmaking to current day filmmaking with the shaky cam and everything. Yeah, it's definitely
I know that
feels
the original is considered a slasher film, right?
Yeah,
But
it's like
it doesn't-
the slasher film. Yeah, it's like template.
But like this one felt so much more slashy.
Okay. Okay.
Like the first one feels like a
yeah.
tense thriller.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I
And
know
it's
what you mean.
it's a slasher. I feel like in the sense that he kills
Well,
people
if
with
you
a
think
knife
about
in a slashing
when
manner.
Halloween came out, I mean that's pretty much what slashers are. When Halloween came out, that term wasn't like around. It wasn't like a big thing. It wasn't until after Halloween and Friday 13th, and then it became like this big thing that people were like, they're slashers, you know. Yeah. But anyway, that's the positive and negatives. I guess I have another negative. But I can get into that into the spoilers or whatever. But I think if you're a fan of Halloween, you'll enjoy this. If you do like AJ and have only seen the first one, the second one, you might just be you might just be kind of like it's like a what's the word I'm looking for? There's like it's too wide of a gap between the two movie styles to appreciate it. So you might still be if you're on the high of the first one, you might be like, well, this one's kind of disappointing.
This one I thought it was good.
You thought it was just good.
The first one I think was like just a really good movie.
Right, yeah.
This one is pretty good. Would I see it again? Maybe. I might would see it again if somebody wanted to go.
I think that's another thing. If you have seen the series, if you watch the series, this movie feels better. Like it feels
Nathan
fan.
actually went with me, and he said it felt like a masterpiece because he had recently watched the rest.
There's
of them.
some bad Halloween movies.
He said it was a masterpiece.
Oh my god, there's some bad Halloweens. Okay,
that's Nathan's review, real quick. Masterpiece. All right, so this is your chance, real quick, to transition if you don't want spoilers.
Yeah, if you don't want any spoilers,
I'm gonna
transition.
Get sushi from chewing on my guitar.
And we're wearing. If you're wondering why we're wearing IT Crowd shirts on a Halloween video, there is no reason. I just started watching it again. I was enjoying it, and I saw he had these shirts on, so I started wearing it. Yeah. But anyway, that's a good segue song into spoilers. Spoiler time. Spoiler time. All right. So when Michael and Laurie find out they are brother and sister, and they start dating, I thought that was so weird.
Yeah,
I thought that was a crazy twist.
It was a weird.
Got you. That's what you get for staying around for the spoiler section. That does not happen in the movie.
It's a really weird decision of Danny McBride to endow Michael so heavily. Yeah.
I thought it was weird when Danny McBride entered the film as his character from Pineapple Express. that was very strange.
Yeah, and then
James Franco showed up.
Yeah. He came up and was like
Seth Rogen showed up. It was just the whole.
He was trying
deal.
to show him this piece of art.
Yeah, I remember that.
But he was just like, it wasn't there.
It became a This Is the End 2 sequel.
I haven't seen This Is the End.
Okay, well you should.
I know the premise.
Wait. Oh, you literally saying this is the art because you're talking about James Franco's real life thing, and This Is the End. He's an artist as well.
Oh,
yeah, he's trying to convince his friends that it's good or whatever. They're like, oh no, man. But anyway, yeah. Spoilers for real. Halloween. Focus. Again, the thing about this is okay.
I'll tell you who sucks.
What?
Tell you who sucks.
Who sucks?
The new Loomis, who I can't remember his name.
Okay.
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein. You didn't like. Okay, I did feel that like whenever he kills the cop or whatever, I was kind of. I was actually in theater. I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. He's like, oh, he's so invested in it. Oh, actually, you know what? I do like Loomis' character. Not his character's cool and everything, but I actually kind of like his. What they're saying about, I think like the fans or whatever, or just like in general about the fascination with Michael, with him.
Yeah,
I like that element.
I like the purpose he serves, but I really liked the sheriff.
Oh, the sheriff guy. Oh,
I just really liked.
So you're just like
this guy.
you're like fuck that guy for killing him. Yeah.
Also, I was sad that Loomis wasn't in it because he was one of my favorite characters. But shortly before watching the film, I realized that the actor had passed away.
Yeah, he passed away during actually 6, and when you watch 6, they had to do some weird editing.
To write him out.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh.
But
I was hoping because I watched the first one and then I was
Loomis
getting ready for this one like less than a week.
If you
like
of Loomis, he is a major part of the series.
I was so hoping we would get like a Loomis is too old to deal with it, but they would go and consult with him. But then I found out he was dead.
It sucks. Yeah, no.
He is though. Like they do have recordings from him and stuff. So I thought that was like a really great I guess the only tribute they could do really for the guy that had been in so many of them, and because Loomis I thought was great.
Yeah, Loomis is pretty great. Pros, spoilers, the kills. are awesome. I loved it. Whenever and it's I've loved it in two ways. The big kill I think is probably the head stomp. That was insanely awesome. But and that is actually a ref. Ooh, I can't spoil the rest. Are you ever gonna watch the rest of the Halloween movies? Do you care if I spoil them?
No.
That's a reference to Halloween too. A lot of these kills are kills from the past.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the head stomp was. I would argue that as much as I liked the head stomp in this movie, and it was like really disgusting and amazingly gross, and very unrealistic. The head stomp in the Halloween 2 movie, I would say, is more brutal and more real because when he does it in that, his foot actually meets resistance from the head or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, so he stomps. It's like takes a couple to do it, and in this one he's just like a bag of this is air inside his head and it just blast open. But I did like that kill, and my favorite thing was actually the effects work on the bodies post like death. And this movie does have a couple of on-screen deaths, but a lot of the cooler effects is from the bodies that have already been killed by Michael. One of them is like a neck that's like torn back, and another one's like the dude's jaw is like ripped open. I looked at that and I was like I just thought I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like seeing these kind of special effects now in 2018 is just so cool.
So this brings me around to a little bit of a problem that I have with Michael that may be answered in the canon that doesn't belong in this movie. Is like, what is up with Michael in terms of he's a dude in an asylum. Like they say he doesn't do anything. He sits around and stares at walls and shit like that. How is he so strong? How can he take so many bullets? How can he take a stab to the eye and a stab to the chest?
That's the big question.
And just keep on going. How can he lift a goddamn tombstone in the first movie?
Yeah.
You can't just pick those things up.
I can. I don't know about you, but that's a big question because in the first one, that's another thing. In the first one, you think, oh, well, he's immortal. He's shot this many times. He fell off the edge. This dude's immortal. But then he gets in this one, and he's not. He's still strong as fuck, but he's. You can kind of tell there's like a little bit of weakness or whatever. I don't know. You could argue that the evil is what sustains him, and that. But
where does this evil come from?
That's the question. That's what Michael.
How is he so strong?
Exactly. And this is you're Loomis right now. You're the doctor that was and like the podcasters, they want him to say something. They want to know. They want to know so bad, and Michael Myers' answer to that is stomping on your head.
I just need to know.
Exactly. That's the appeal.
Is there supposed to be something supernatural to it? There's nothing supernatural about the rest of the movie.
And none of the other series really explores why. He is just driven by evil, and if it's Rob Zombie's version, he's driven by anger. So that that is what makes it interesting. I thought that's why I like this movie a lot, because the new character was like, oh, this is what it feels like to kill. Maybe he just gets off on the killing. He's like so fascinated with it. He is the fan. He is the fan of Michael Myers, and I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, and there's a really cool theory that I saw on someone else's channel. I'm about to steal it. That Laurie might be the one who let Michael loose tonight because she's been obsessed with him and she wants to kill him. And she even says, "I was hoping that he would escape." So there is a theory that maybe she is the one. I don't know. It's bullshit.
Because it's like a bus wreck.
Yeah. Well, it's a bus wreck. He probably did it. But they said that maybe she orchestrated something with it or whatever. That's a theory. It's not.
Doctor
This isn't even a movie review anymore. We're getting to theories now.
Well, the doctor even says that like Michael gets up and attacks the driver.
Right. That's probably the real reason. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna throw this theory out the door. Maybe she did something. Maybe she orchestrated, because they do cut away from her being there. I'm trying to think of some other positives real quick. That are just reasons why I like the movie so much. Third act was really strong. Laurie ends up being...
The recording's about to stop.
Yeah, I noticed that. My recording over here doesn't stop. It's a great movie. Go see it. This is it. The one thing I like is how they kept mirroring Michael Myers with Laurie. Like Laurie was like the new Michael Myers in a way. Like she was appearing outside the window, just like how Michael Myers did in the first. She kept disappearing. That's my timer for us to stop, but we're gonna keep going.
Dick.
Oh my God,
Dick.
Okay. Me or the phone? But yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed like when they fall off the building, or when she falls off the building again, he looks back and she's gone. Like that's a classic Michael Myers. And, oh my gosh! Oh my god!
God, Dick!
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I really like the dad character too, who was making me laugh. I like that there was some comedy in it. Like there was humorous
Like
elements.
the dad and the kid.
The dad and the
Mainly.
kid, yeah. It was,
Yeah.
again, that's another thing. It's very jarring from the first one because the first one, it's got humor, but it's not as funny or whatever as this. So when this being so funny, it really almost takes you out of it. You're like, oh, I'm watching a little bit of a comedy now, But it was, I enjoyed this movie so much, and it surprised the crap out of me how much I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it more than probably my initial analysis leads on, but the first one is just so much better.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've always really liked the first Halloween, but I don't really watch these movies for creep factor because it just doesn't creep me out. I do think the first one does have that element to it. It definitely is really good at setting that kind of tension or whatever. But again, I've seen it like 4 times now, and that is worn off. So when I watch it now, I'm kind of like, yeah, I've seen this. And another thing too, it always bugged me about the first one. This is a criticism of the first one, is whenever Michael appears outside her window that one time, and she's looking at him, and then it cuts back to Michael out there looking at him. It cuts back to her, she's still looking at him, and it cuts back to him, and he's not there anymore. And I'm like, so she saw him walk away.
Yeah.
She was watching him walk away. That whole scene,
that
whole scene bugs the crap out of me.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
When we finish this, we should do just a quick review of
the first Halloween.
78.
Yeah, 78. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I have another.
That is my review.
I have another big problem with that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, another negative. One more negative is that the boyfriend character just disappears from the movie. He's in it, and then not because I like this character, I want to see more of him. I was expecting this dude to get his comeuppance and get killed. Like I was expecting a kill out of that kid,
kind of an
and we didn't get that. So but we got it with the other guy. I wonder that feels really weird.
The other guy that was like, it was kind of annoying, but
I wonder if they had to do like some kind of rewrite or something, because it seems weird. Because usually movies, like horror movies and slashers, they usually set up the asshole to be killed and for it to be like satisfying, like, oh, fuck that guy, that's great. But in this movie, it's like her friend that gets killed.
He was a little annoying. He kind of he got a little handsy.
Yeah, he did. That might be another thing I read
the part involving him though is like one of the best parts.
With the kid and the kill of the teen with the light or whatever, that was pretty good. Yeah,
because like Michael and the lights.
There was I just thought about something. There was another channel that made this point about how like a theme of the movie is like switching roles or whatever. So like Laurie is Michael, and Michael, is Laurie running away. He doesn't really run away from her at any point, but she's hunting him. There was Bonnie and Clyde. They switch or whatever. Maybe they're doing the switch with thing too. You expect the asshole to be killed, but it's like the best friend that gets killed. So maybe I don't know if that's intentional. It's probably more likely that the other guy couldn't film or something and they needed to kill. So they're just like, well, he'll walk her home, and she'll cheat or something. So yeah, I don't know. But there's another scene too that I felt was really awkwardly paced and shot. Is the one where she says that you're the new Loomis or whatever, and like the shots are like really quick pace at that point. They keep cutting back and forth between the three of them, and it just feels weird and sloppy and kind of awkwardly executed. But that's a very minor, like that's not a big thing. However,
I do like the scene that it leads into in the trailer, like where he like bumps into the kids and goes back and takes that hammer. That's like one really long shot.
Yeah, that's
like
actually
the camera like panning down the street.
That's a reference to Halloween too. Like that happened. That same thing happens.
Oh, really?
This whole movie, I'm telling you, is just like an amalgamation of the other movies, but done well in like one. You actually just got the refresher course. You got the syllabus of the rest of the Halloween series with this movie. It's like I don't want to spoil. Are you gonna watch? You should at least watch Halloween 2. I think.
I mean, I'll probably watch it at some point.
Halloween 3. Those kids, they're wearing the mask from Halloween 3. From the kids who wear Halloween masks.
I saw in the credits that there was a credit for Halloween 3.
So there's that. Halloween 2. The fire at the end. I'm spoiling it. I'm spoiling it. I can't help it. You need to see these. You need to at least watch 2, 3. You wouldn't like 6. I love 6.
Why haven't I watched 3? It doesn't have anything to do with Michael's story.
But it's good. It's good. It's. I would say the pacing is a little slow, but I think it's a really good like.
So just watch it as a movie.
Yeah, watch it as a movie for sure. And then 2, 3, H2O, and then maybe the Rob Zombie ones. I don't know how you feel about them, but a lot of people are. It's mixed. It's kind of a mixed bag. I really enjoyed them, but yeah. you should at least watch 2 and H2O. At least, because H2O is this movie done about 20 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Jamie Lee Curtis has come back and she's like, and she's actually more of like initially she's like running away, but then she's like, I gotta face this, and then she has a big face off of Michael. That's actually pretty satisfying in its own right. You could argue that it might even be more satisfying than this movie. But there, speaking of satisfying stuff in this movie, when she's like Happy Halloween, it's like really cheesy, but at the same time, like as a fan, you go, yeah, fuck you, Michael. So it is a nostalgia bait fan made movie, but I liked it for that reason, and it just felt really cohesive and kills were great. Had some good tension, great action. Go see it. This review is really long.
Critical said that Laurie made some decisions that didn't seem very Laurie-like.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you've already watched the review.
I watched Critical's review.
Okay. What he said?
Critical loved it. He gave it an 80% on the moisture meter.
I would say that's probably right. I'd give it an 8.7, almost maybe 9. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this one.
Well, speaking of reviews,
it may be my favorite Halloween.
Critical gives it an 8 or 80 on his meter.
Yeah. I give it like close to a 9, like maybe a 9. Yeah, like
maybe a 9.
I even as it's crazy how much I like this movie. I don't know why I like this movie so much.
I'd probably give it a 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah. The original may be closer to an 8.
Right.
But
the original was an 8 to me as well. Yeah. So, yeah.
But anyway, he was just saying that whenever she's got the house, all the traps and everything, when she's going in and like checking the rooms,
right?
And stuff,
yeah.
She's got like weapons. She's got a gun. Why like get right up into the closet like to check for Michael?
I thought that was weird too. I thought instead of like
just take some
firing,
shots, and then go pop the door open.
I thought that was because for that scene it's tension. They're like.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and that in any movie where that happens, it always throws me out of it because I'm like, nobody would do that. Nobody would slowly go that up like that. They would probably run for the most part. But yeah, I think I've said it. I think I've said everything I want to say about Halloween. I really enjoyed it. Maybe it was just because I was out of town and I went to a mall and there was like a really nice theater and there was like nobody in it. It was just me, like maybe like one other guy.
Oh yeah, whenever Nathan and I went, it was just me and him and like 2 other people.
Apparently the movie's making bank, so I don't understand why our experience has been that this movie is just flopping like shit like crazy. But I don't know. I enjoyed it though. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm good. I think so. Go see it. It's awesome.
Happy Halloween.
We just need to put that. We just need to make that a video. Just put that up as the next one. The trailer for this.